Good morning. Hopefully, you guys had a wonderfully long, extended summer and you are ready to get back to school or whatever we're going to call school for this first 9 weeks. So, normally on a typical school day, first day of school every year, you would have to sit and listen to me go over my syllabus and talk. Um, I've now managed to cut my syllabus down to one page, so we're going to talk about it for a couple of minutes here. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Hopefully, some of you have had me before as a teacher, so you know how I am. I'm always here to ask, help you out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. But the way we're going to do it this year is we're going to be talking about units. Basically are the same as 9 weeks. So our first unit is going to have three main topics in it. It's going to have equations and inequalities, which will just be like solving equations and graphing linear inequalities and stuff like that you've done in Algebra 1. Linear functions and systems, that's graphing lines, connecting the dots, that kind of stuff. Parent functions and transformations, we're going to do some really cool stuff with that. And we'll get to use Desmos a lot, so hopefully you have some experience with Desmos. If not, I'm going to show you some and it'll be pretty fun. Unit 2, hopefully we'll be back in school by then, but that'll be the second 9 weeks. It'll be polynomial functions and operations, quadratics and complex numbers, and radical functions. Don't freak out if those things don't sound familiar to you. That's the meat of Algebra 2, so we're going to be getting into that Algebra 2. Then after we come back from winter break, we'll finish up Unit 2 because our first semester goes into January. When we come back, we'll be finishing up Unit 2 and we'll be starting Unit 3, which will be logs and exponents, sequence and series, probability and statistics. And then the last 9 weeks, we're going to do rational functions, combinations and permutations, and hopefully if we get to it, conic sections and trigonometry. Trigonometry is probably one of my most favorite topics, but I never get to teach it because we usually don't have enough time. All right. So right now, when you're at home, the stuff you're going to need for class is going to be basically the same as the stuff you're going to need when you're here. If you have some sort of composition notebook, being able to actually work out paper and pencil math problems is going to be beneficial. So some sort of composition notebook. If you have grid paper, that's awesome. When we get back to class in person, we'll be using that a lot. If not, make sure you have your laptop and that it's plugged in and charged so that way you can use Desmos. When we get back to school, we will have TI-84 calculators, but until then, we're going to be using Desmos. And I'm going to also talk to you about an online program called Syllabus. You do need internet connection for both of those. So if you don't have some, make an appointment to come to the school so that you can get internet access for those things. We're going to do individual practice. We're not going to do any group or partner work at this time. We'll try to figure something out on how to do that as we progress through this unit and through this 9 weeks. And then we'll have some classroom discussions. Don't freak out if you can't get on when we have class times, when we have our Google Meet times. The sessions will be recorded and you can listen to them later. Also today, you need to be looking at some of the Google information to kind of familiarize yourself with Google Classroom. I know it's been a learning curve for me. And then we have our unit projects and tests. With each topic, we're going to do some sort of mini project or activity. It's not going to be that huge like presentation kind of thing that you're used to in other classes, so don't worry about that. Our Panther promise, be respectful, be responsible, be resilient. Be resilient is probably the most important one right now because of how everything is completely different. This is a brand new way of doing school for everyone, including your teachers. So just be patient and relax and ask questions. And, if you find yourself getting overwhelmed, just take a break. All right. For our class, you're going to need some technology stuff, some online things. Syllabus is one of those. Desmos is another. You can check your grades in Infinite Campus. They'll also be posted on Google Classroom. And then our breakdown of grades is going to be same as it was last year, 20% for engagement with standards, which is like in-class stuff, everyday stuff. Progress towards standards would be like homework. And then mastery of standards are your tests and projects. All right. Uh, our grading scale, we have the same grading scale that we've had before. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is C, 60 to 69 is a D, and then below 60 is an F. We're going to be extremely lenient on missing and late work, but don't put everything off until the end because you don't want to have to do, 12 weeks worth of work all at one time. So make sure you're getting stuff done little chunks at a time. All right, here is how our stuff is going to break down by semester. The first semester, we're going to have those 6 topics. We're going to have 3 the first 9 weeks, which will be Unit 1. Again, we already talked about those, equations and inequalities. I've attached the standards. We're going to take about 7 days with those, and that's 7 class days. So if you're in an A class, that's 7 A class periods. If you're B, that's 7 B class periods. It's not 7 calendar days or 7 school days. All right. And lastly, if you have not been in my classroom before, you've not had me as a teacher, you have no idea, but I am kind of obsessed with superheroes, especially the Marvel world. So be prepared because I am going to help you become a marvelous mathematician this year. If you have any questions or need to contact me, you can email me here at the school. It's joseph.kreger@carroll.kyschools.us. You can call my phone number here, 502-732-7075. My extension is 6204. You can get me on Twitter at Coach Craig. I'm also going to send out a Google Voice number for you so that you can contact me outside of the normal school day, and you can send me images. If you have a question about a problem or a project or an activity or something, you can take a picture and send it to me and ask for help. But I can't put that on here. I'm going to share that with you in an email later on. So again, if you have any questions, welcome to CCHS 2020 and 2021. Good luck.